Hi, I'm Judith Myers and I am the Year 13 Year Manager and also Teacher of Biology. We currently have 2 teachers of biology at Bede Sixth Form College, and I'm going to spend the time talking to you today about what you can expect, a little bit about the A-level course, and also what some of our students go on to do in the future once they leave us from Bede as well. The kind of structure of our course is that we have 6 particular modules that you do throughout the 2 years. We have 4 of them that we do in first year, and then further 2 that we do in second year. The way that the first module works is that it is very much a practical based module. So that actually spans the entire 2 years of the course, and we deliberately plan that so that each of the skills that you need to develop relates to the theory that you're looking at as you move through the course. So that really helps you to kind of cement your knowledge that you gain in the classroom and put it into a more practical approach. You get examined at the end of the course on some of your practical skills that you've developed, but that is through an exam-based assessment. And then when you're doing your actual practicals, your teachers come round and help you with any of the particular practical skills that you need to develop. And then we assess you once we know that you've gained competency in those areas as well. There are 12 required practicals that you need to do as part of the first module. We normally do 6 in first year and 6 in second year. Our second module is called the Fundamentals of Biology, and this particularly relates to some of the things that you'll have done at GCSE, and it builds really heavily on that. So one thing that I would really like you to do is look at the preparation for Bede material, because that really does pick out the elements from GCSE that we do build on. So please visit our website and look for those preparation materials. In Module 2, you can expect to study areas such as enzymes. We look at DNA, the structure of DNA, just like the double helix that I have in front of me here, and we look at how that structure relates to the function of DNA and how it's used for that code for life, essentially, in mitosis, meiosis, so cell division, but also in replication to produce proteins for protein synthesis. We also look at the transport of molecules, so we look at diffusion, osmosis, and active transport, and how they are again involved in very specific processes within the body. Also in the Fundamentals of Biology section are the sort of key aspects around the organelles that you would find in cells, such as eukaryotes and prokaryotes, and we look at the differences between prokaryotes and eukaryotes as well. In Module 3, we start to look at the transport of and movement of molecules within the body, and we look at transport in animals and transport in plants. We look at the movement of sucrose in a plant. We also look at the movement of blood around the body and how your heart works, the cardiac cycle, in order to obviously provide all of your cells with the oxygen and glucose that it needs to be able to do respiration. Module 4 is the biology of evolution, and we also look at disease, communicable diseases to be precise. So we again build upon your knowledge from GCSE, where you will have looked at certain diseases like malaria, and we talk about the transmission of those diseases and how we can also develop global vaccination programs to help to fight diseases across the world. So that covers first year. At the end of first year, you'll have 2 exams, and those exams cover all aspects of the 4 modules that you've done so far, along with the practical skills. In second year, we then have Module 5. Module 5 is communication and homeostasis. So to do with that, it is neurons, and we look at the structure of a neuron, but then also how a synapse can be used and developed in terms of future drugs that we can use to control certain diseases that might affect neurons. We also look at muscle contraction and how a muscle contracts and relaxes. We then move on and look at respiration and photosynthesis as well, and we do all of the kind of more detailed aspects of that, because again, you'll have looked at photosynthesis and respiration at GCSE, but there are huge amounts more to both processes, and we develop that a lot at A-level. In Module 6, we look at genetics and evolution. So this section really focuses on why we've inherited specific characteristics, the chances of inheriting those characteristics. We also look at evolutionary relationships as well, in terms of if we discover an extinct species, how closely related might that extinct species be to another species that we currently have today. And that gives us a real insight to the evolutionary relationships. The second year of the course is examined again through 3 exams, the longest exam being 2 hours 15 minutes. And once you've completed those 3 exams, that contributes to your whole A-level course. The one thing I really want to communicate to you is kind of why I chose to do biology in the first place. Biology to me is just a fascinating subject because it explains so well how all the processes work. So you'll have touched on those currently in what you've studied, but A-level just goes so much further. I was inspired by a very, very enthusiastic biology teacher when I did my A-levels, and that's what I aim to want to kind of pass on and communicate to you. So if you come and study biology with us, then you can be sure to have enthusiastic teachers, a huge range of different teaching styles to keep you interested and enthused all the time, and just to learn so much more about this really fascinating subject. We're always keeping abreast of changes in biology because science moves on at such a fast pace all of the time. So, for example, there's a field called pharmacogenetics that we touch on a little bit at A-level, and that's sort of looking at how we can tailor medicines to people's specific genetic DNA profiles, which really helps us to make sure that we can make medicines more effective. So that's a really interesting area that we look at. The other kinds of things that we offer as part of our course is we do some visits and trips. So we go and visit the Centre for Life and we take part in a number of different practicals there. We also offer our students in second year the chance to take part in the Biology Olympiad, which gives you a chance to possibly win that competition, and it really develops your skills and gives you even greater knowledge than you cover at A-level. The entry requirements for A-level biology are at least a 6 in triple biology or a double 6 in combined biology at GCSE. You also will need a 5 in maths. There is also another course that we are looking to introduce in September, and that is human biology. Human biology is a vocational course that really gives you the chance to develop even greater practical skills than you will do in biology A-level. The course content is split into 4 modules for that. You start off by looking at the principles of applied human biology, and this overlaps greatly with the A-level, so the content is quite similar in that unit. You then move on to look at microbiology and infectious diseases. The third unit is to do with human biology and health issues, and then module 4 is all around diseases and disorders and treatments for those diseases and disorders as well. So if you're feeling as though you might enjoy a more practical side, obviously A-level still provides you with that practical, but there is a greater amount of theory. The human biology course will give you the chance to be able to develop even greater practical skills. And the entry requirements for that are a double 4 in combined science. The only thing left for me to talk about is where our students go on to after they have completed their studies here. Obviously, we put a huge emphasis on developing those skills in terms of researching. There's a huge need to be able to improve your research skills to be able to access higher education. So we do a lot of that when we're writing up our practicals. And this has really equipped our students well to be able to go on to university. Last year, all of our students that studied A-level biology went on to university, and they have gone to do a huge range of different courses. Some particular ones that focus on biology were zoology, medicine, biomedicine, and biochemistry as well. So there's some of the ideas of things that people can go on to do after leaving us at Bede. And then obviously there are huge numbers of professions that involve biology as well. So for example, you could go on and be a teacher like myself, but obviously you could go on and do some sort of medicine or veterinary studies to become a vet or a doctor. The possibilities are endless. There are even people who work for the Environment Agency and use their biology skills that they've picked up from A-level and degree level to be able to do that as well. If there are any particular questions that you have, I'm happy to answer those questions if you have any now. Yeah, I'll wait a little while if anybody has any particular questions, that's fine. In terms of kind of other aspects of the course, really, while I'm waiting for any questions, I'll just talk a little bit about our facilities as well. We have 2 science labs that are dedicated to biology. We have some really high quality equipment, some equipment that you would not normally have when studying A-levels, and that you would normally only encounter when you go on to degree level. So you actually get quite a lot of insight into what it would be like to do some of the practicals at degree level as well, because we have that equipment and that availability to do so. So that's a fantastic thing as well. We have a dedicated lab technician who looks after us in terms of all of our practical needs and helps us to organise all of our equipment ready for our practicals as well.
One question. Yeah. Which exam board do we use?
Okay, so the question was, what exam board do we use? We use OCR Biology A for our exam board. Brilliant. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you in September.